Hey everybody, my name is LaPrecious, so welcome to my channel. Let's talk with LaPrecious. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about the Meghan Markle and Prince Charles mess. Now this has been a big mess ever since Prince Harry and Princess Meghan have done the interview that they did with Oprah Winfrey. To be honest, to sum it all up, I've always known that it was going to be a problem for them ever since they got married. The main reason why their marriage has such stamina and such impact because she's the first woman of color, or really the first black woman to marry in the royal family. So that was a given. So of course that's why it got so much attention when they got married. Now, as far as there being ruffles in the royal family, I kind of suspected that too, but not as much as this because a lot of times, whenever black people, especially black women, marry interracially and marry into non black families, I've seen a lot of different responses where they're either respected and they're allowed to have that womanly role or that female role in the family, or they have to go along to get along in order to fit in with the family, or they're just seen as a threat or they're not respected. So it appears that in the beginning of Prince Charles and Meghan Markle's marriage, they had some ruffles because they did talk here and there about how Megan was being ignored, how she was given the silent treatment, how she wasn't spoken to as a person or as a woman or really respected. So at that time, they didn't really say anything about race. Also, Meghan Markle had a lot of issues with her father's side of the family by her dad trying to get into her business, and then she had siblings from his side trying to intervene, and she didn't want nothing to do with them because she was like, y'all just trying to get clout, trying to get shine off of me because I'm in the royal family now and y'all want some money. So that was the end of that. Now, ever since then, race has never really came out up until now. And it seems that the main reason why Meghan Markle's had so many issues with this family is because she's black. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be technical and say, no, she's not black, she's biracial, but the way that this family is treating her as if she's a full black woman. Because as black people, even though we're trying to become more technical, racially aware, racially accepting. Everybody's trying to get their pronouns and nouns and be politically correct, but we have to remind ourselves that no matter how astute or how affluent or how educated we come off, we're still going to be seen as black amongst non black people. And so when it comes to Meghan Markle, yes, she is biracial. Her mother is black and her father is white, but she's still being treated as a black woman. And so, moving along from that, it was indicated in the interview that people were asking, or a person of interest had asked constantly, what color was the child going to be? I wasn't really surprised about that question, and I'm sure other people were probably surprised at it too, because I'm gonna be honest, I've been around whites, and I have known that white people do have a thing about color sometimes. When it comes to people being mixed, they, kind of try to see, how mixed are they, what are they mixed with, and a lot of times, if they're mixed with black and white, and they appeal more to the white side or the mixed side, they tend to be on their side. But if they're mixed with like black and Puerto Rican or like black and Dominican or black and Korean, ooh, they're interesting, they're fun, they're exotic and stuff. Because let's not forget, a lot of us as black women sometimes, even in the black community, we see black men do the same thing with mixed women when they're mixed with certain ethnicities. But white men and white people do it too. I've seen it from working amongst whites and from being amongst white people. They have a thing about color too. So I wasn't really surprised at that. And as black people, we shouldn't really be surprised at that at all, because even within our community and in our families, when we have children with non-black people and sometimes even with black people that may, tend to have a little lightness in them, a little curl in their hair, and we want to know if our kids are going to have those same attributes. So this conversation of colorism and good hair, dark skin and light skin, we've heard that before. Now, from this being told straight from the horse's mouth, Prince Charles and Meghan Markle, it is a little surprising because you've never really heard of the royal family being racist like this. But at the same time, on a historical text, I'm not really surprised at that because when you look at the history of Great Britain, they were conquerors. When you look at Spain, when you look at France and England, on the Western Hemisphere, they conquered everybody, all the way from Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, South America. And due to them leaving their mark, that's why a lot of these ethnic groups, including black people, because I mean, the Europeans, they had stake in Africa too. That's why you see a lot of these languages that are spoken within these countries. But at the same time, a lot of that colorism and racism, it comes from them because when we were slaves, and a lot of us know this, the whites, they kept the light skinned slaves within the house, the darker skinned ones outside of the house. You know, you had the paper bag test, you had and I remember they said something on the news about some other kind of test that was done based on skin color. And when you think about it, a lot of this stuff comes from white supremacy. You can even go to present day Nigeria and other countries in Africa where they still compare themselves to whiteness. Even in India, they compare themselves to that of the British, where they want to be white, because in a lot of these cultures, being close to white is almost being seen as close to being to God. And a lot of times, I hate to say it, that's why you see a lot of non-black people marrying white people all the time, because of that stigmatized, colorism that they have within them from, oppression and colonization, and with black people, slavery. Now, moving along to the meat in this whole situation. It's unfortunate that Prince Harry and Princess Markle, they're experiencing what their mother, well, what Meghan Markle's mother-in-law, Princess Diana, experienced. We all know Princess Diana was the black sheep of that family. And I feel like even now, with everything that's going on, it really does make me wonder that if they did set it up for Princess Diana to be killed, because there's been a conspiracy about her death for a long time. They're saying, well, how can this woman who was so influential, so outspoken, and so well known, how could she have died like this? But even at her time, when she had Prince Charles and his brother, and I'm sorry, not Prince Charles, but yeah, I am right. No, not Prince Charles. Okay, anyways, when she had Prince Harry and his brother, there was a lot of like judgment and stigma going on with her because she wasn't the prim and proper princess that they wanted her to be. We all know that even Queen Elizabeth didn't even like her that much when Princess Diana was in the royal house. I mean, let's just be honest, she wasn't. And even at the time, they said Princess Diana even had a boyfriend who wasn't even white at that. He happened to be, I think, Palestinian or Arab. So, she was kind of dating around different colors and stuff too. And they didn't like that because, of course, whenever you're a part of these royal families, they want everybody to be pure. We even see it with the royal family in Spain. Now, my history is fainted, but I can give you the gist of like Spanish monarchy. There was a royal family in Spain where they wanted the blood to be so pure that they married within their family. Cousins married cousins. And it got to a point where everybody had so much of the same blood that they developed a blood disorder because the blood was too much of the same because of everybody marrying within the family. And I'm not surprised at this because we've seen this before with interracial relationships, especially with Asians and really with Indians, because not only have like European whites sometimes have issues, because to be honest, this is the first time I've kind of seen a British person have an issue with a black mate, because I see white British people marrying black people all the time, whether they're American or like black British or whatever. But I have seen some ruffles sometimes when like Germans tend to marry black people. And I'm not sure if that comes from the Nazi influence or like the Holocaust, but those European groups I've seen the most tend to have issues within their families when they marry black people, especially with black Americans. Now, when it comes to Indians, with Indians, it's the same thing because I've seen so many times with Indian families. They're very adamant about marrying their own and dating their own unless they're white. because of the colonization and the importance of being white. And I've even seen where they've had honor killings within the Arab and Indian culture, where if a person in their family married somebody that wasn't Indian or Arab, by law they had the right to kill them. There was even a black girl, I believe it was either in Michigan or some state, and this case happened over 20 years ago, and I think her name was Sparkle or Star, and she married an Indian man, and the Indian man she married's parents hired a hitman and killed her. And it was all because they didn't want their Indian son marrying a black woman. And so this is not the first time we've seen where black women have been attacked and have been ostracized pretty much for dating out, where the relationship works and they're in love and the family just can't handle it. Because I think for Americans, this may be a little shocking to us because we live in the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we date and sleep with anybody we want to, no matter what color they are. But in other cultures, it's not like that. It's like since they're so homogeneous when it comes to the people that live in their countries, and they're not of different cultures and races and ethnicities like the people are here that live amongst each other sometimes. They don't have that cultural freedom or really that dating or friendship freedom. And I've even seen movies where they talk about things like this with the black community and the Arab community before, where they have this saying that you could be friends with black people and you could be cordial with black people, but you can't marry or date black people. And so there are a lot of ethnic groups that hold, that kind of hold that to be true, because when it comes to black blood or black culture, it's okay to emulate and imitate and act like, but it's not good to be. And I believe that's what we're seeing here with the royal family. Now, moving along to what Piers Morgan had to say, he got told. He got told so bad that he left Good Morning Britain and doesn't even want to work for them anymore. But the anchor that got him told, he was right. He was like, this whole time, you've been smearing Meghan's name through the mud. You've been talking about her. And these people have never even spoken ill of you before. You've been talking about them this whole time, and we've had to sit here and listen to it. And I mean, he deserved it. He read him so bad that he didn't even have nothing else to say. And when they asked him for commentary, he said he had nothing else to say. And that's because you got told. Your can got spilled. You didn't have nothing else to give because your whole story was told. And my thing is that I feel like it's very telling, because even the royal family has been interviewed and they said they weren't speaking on it. They're not saying anything. And people think that when you don't speak and when you do the silent treatment, that you're being grown and whatnot, but you're really being very telling. You're being very telling on yourself, because by you being silent towards something that's so great as to being called a racist or being considered a racist, it's speaking volumes. And you're pretty much saying, yes, that you are racist or colorist without technically saying it. But you're saying it especially by being silent. And so with Meghan Markle and Prince Charles' marriage, it's really a shame that they can't even live in the royal family's castle because there's just so much animosity. And now they have to, move over here, I guess, or live in Canada. Because I think I read something, I heard something about them one time living in Canada or wanting to live in Canada. So yeah, they're looking out pretty much. And as far as like them being supported by the family, they're not being supported financially by the family. And I'm not really sure how that's going to go, because it's going to be really a shame that they did so much publicly and now they renege on it when all the money's gone and they can't live on their own, and they're coming back to the royal family. I feel like, because I'm not sure about their money situation, because I'm sure that Prince Charles and Princess Meghan, they got millions of dollars. I'm sure they get paid top dollar to do interviews, magazine spreads, and all of that. So they're probably living good. But I feel like they probably should build on their celebrity. Do a YouTube channel, like a lot of celebrities are doing. Do a YouTube channel, have your own TV show on E, or, do something, write a book. You have to build on this type of status, because it's only right. Because a lot of times when people break away from their families and they say they're done They make sure that they got all of their ducks in a row and everything that they need so that once they're gone, they won't have to come back and depend on them and have egg thrown on their face saying that we told you so, that you couldn't make it without us because you didn't have that support that we gave you. So I feel like if Meghan Markle and Prince Charles are going to really do this on their own, I hope they're really prepared for it because it would be devastating that, they've made this big cahoots or this big announcement about how the royal family is so racist. And by them not being able to make it on their own or keep up their celebrity, they have to come back to the royal house and pretend and smile and be cordial amongst the people of England, because they can't make it. So I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to like, leave a comment in the comment section, and have a good day.